Hey and welcome to Hank's True BBQ. So, Easter is coming up. Time to smoke some lamb. So, I'd like to do a traditional lamb roast, but instead of garlic, rosemary, thyme, etc., the common ingredients when cooking up lamb, I'm going to do this with lemon pepper. I'm going to make a nice lamb sandwich instead of a ham sandwich. We're going to serve it with some real tasty Hollandaise sauce, so it's going to be real good. Now, as for the smoker and the weather the weather isn't really with me, but I think we're gonna manage. It snowed this morning, then it rained, now there's kind of a break. Good thing though, for those of you that watched the previous video, you could see I was seasoning my smoker, specifically the firebox part. Just put on some oil for 30 seconds before firing it up, and if you see now how much better it looks, that's all it needed. I mean, I do that like every 2 or 3 months, and that's it, so extremely low maintenance. Anyhow, enough talk, let's go inside, prep the meat, trim it, dry brine it, then apply a rub, etc. So we'll do the prepping inside today due to the weather. Alright, so this is my lamb roast. It comes from the rear leg as always. When it comes to roasts, I'm gonna remove this net because I don't want to cook with this on. It's not gonna look very good. Gonna get very strange cross marks, and also I don't like plastic in my food. So this is relatively easy to trim. This is a boneless ham. You can see here from this is where part of the femur went, but I'm gonna keep it intact like that. Sometimes, depending on how it's butchered or cut out, you may have to truss it or not. This looks like I can cook it as is, which is just makes life easier. But this silvery membrane has to go, so I'm just gonna start somewhere and trim it off like this until we get down to the meat, so we can apply our lemon pepper rub before smoking it. I think I got it trimmed up real good. After flipping it a few times, I'm gonna change my mind about the trussing. I'm actually gonna tie it up because it opens up just a bit too much for my preference. So let's get some butcher's twine out and get this tied up before we apply the brine. Just cut out a few feet of butcher's twine and just gonna tie it around like this. Should be a quick job, but I think it's gonna be better for the cook. So you can see it's quite easy to just truss it like that. I'm just gonna tie it off here and then there you go. Cut off the excess, and I think we're ready to apply some dry brine on this. Now when doing that, as always, I'm using 1 teaspoon per kilo. This is 1 kilo of lamb, so I'm going to use 1 teaspoon. Plain and simple. You can add a lot more if you want to. I typically do add a little extra. And I'm going to leave it all day to let the salt work its way into the meat, because this is a slightly thicker hunk of meat than your ordinary steak. Alright, going into the fridge it goes. So the meat has been in the fridge dry brining for quite some time. Time to apply the rub, and I'm gonna use a frog mat actually, just because it's gonna make it easier. I can slide it in and out the grill without touching it too much, given that we're gonna apply mustard and then the lemon pepper. Now I'm gonna use mustard kind of as a binder. It's not gonna add that much flavor, but it's gonna make all that lemon pepper stick a lot better. So I'm gonna get this properly painted or covered with mustard. Don't need to go crazy thick on this. Just want to get some good coverage here. So now it's upside down. I'm gonna get the lemon pepper. I'm gonna use quite a bit. I want to go heavy on this. I think it's really good flavored. It's gonna keep it kind of like beefy like, since we're only using salt and pepper, but at the same time lemon pepper and mustard and lamb is still gonna be a bit different than your ordinary brisket, for example. let's get that top covered too. All right, looking good. Time to fire up the grill. Look at that, the weather is not getting better. Good thing I have an offset so I don't have to worry about the rain. All right, time to strike a match. We're getting up to temp. Time to get that lamb roast into the smoke. Now this frog mat really comes in handy. Gonna put the thicker end towards the fire. That's it. And I'll check, but I'm guesstimating 2-hour cook on this one. We'll see where we end up. But alright, let's close the lid and give this some good old smoke flavor. Alright, time to check the temp on this one. I think my guesstimate of 2 hours was a bit too long, but 55, 56 Celsius, that's really good. 56 and a half, I think I'm gonna pull it because I want to bring it in and let it rest. It's gonna come up to a few more degrees with the carryover heat, so oh man, that's looking really good. Gonna let this rest now, gonna tent it loosely, let it come down in temp to like 35-40 degrees so we retain all the moisture in it, and then we're gonna slice it thin and make one hell of a sandwich. While the meat is resting, we're gonna make a Hollandaise sauce, and to make a Hollandaise sauce you need butter and you need egg yolks and lemon. We're gonna add some salt also. The trick to making this is melting the butter. We're gonna warm this up, the egg yolks, and I'm gonna add some lemon. These two should be equal in temp roughly, but the trick to getting good consistency in the sauce is to keep whisking slowly here. You want to put this pan on medium heat so it doesn't, you don't want to high heat because you want to avoid the egg yolks coagulating. At the same time we should be whisking constantly like this to get it to the right consistency. It's gonna start by foaming a little bit, and then we keep whisking until it's really smooth, creamy, and then we're gonna add the butter. But first I'm gonna melt this butter over here. I kept going like on and off the stove, but now it's starting to look really nice and creamy, which is just right. So very soon time to add the butter. Now that we have the consistency, we're gonna start adding the butter. I usually calculate 1 egg yolk and 50 grams, so 2 egg yolks, 100 grams. Now it's starting to look real good, just right. Nice consistency. And I did leave that last white stuff in the butter. I don't add that. I think just the semi-clarified butter is what you want. This is good. I added some salt also, so I'm just gonna taste this. Oh man, that's good. Nice lemony flavor. I'm even gonna add just a bit more lemon actually. Alright, time to serve. The meat has been resting for 30 minutes, loosely tented like that. Time for the revealing. I did remove the butcher's twine here, but this is looking real good, smelling fantastic. So I like to see all the lemon pepper here, but I'm gonna start slicing. I'm gonna slice slightly diagonally because I want a bit more oval shaped slices, but man, this is looking good. I'm hoping we're gonna make a pretty tasty lamb sandwich out of this. Just a bit dry in the end, but let's see how it turns out when we move in towards the center. Oh man, this is really looking good. I figure I'll cut a bunch of thin slices, then I can still stack them high on my sandwich. But this is ideal. I mean, this is a real nice lamb roast. Look at that, really juicy. Gotta have a sample of this. Oh man, that's good. The lemon flavor with the smoke and everything. Super tender. Just keep going with my brisket sword here so we have enough to make a real bad sandwich. All right, time to plate. I'm gonna get this plate out, put 2 slices of rye with butter on it. I'm gonna add some lettuce. That should do it. Time to bring out the lamb. Oh man, I can see this being pretty damn good. I need to get myself a cold beer to go with this. Not gonna get too fancy, I'm just gonna stack the meat on top here. I want to make it like a real feast. If you're a meat lover, you should really enjoy the sight of this. That's the plan for my presentation like that. Good old meat sandwich. Of course, we're gonna add the sauce to it also. Gotta have some good sauce with all that meat. And add some tomatoes on the vine, a few that I did cut up. I think it's gonna look nice. And all right, see if we can get a nice additional. I'm gonna get some over there too. Can't get enough sauce. Oh, perfect. Well, just a small dollop on the side. Now we're good. All right, that's a pretty good looking plate in front of me. Time to sample that ham. The lamb ham. I think the lemon pepper with the lamb and the Hollandaise sauce, just perfect. Takes a few minutes to make the sauce, but I think it's perfect timing. When you're waiting for the meat to come down to temp, like get past the carryover heat and calm down. Just right. Also, if you are watching your calories, I mean, there are 0 carbs in this almost, so plenty of fat, but still, fat is flavor, so. All right, if you're cooking up lamb this Easter, highly recommend it. Try this out. Target temp for the meat was 60 degrees Celsius. It took like, well, 120 to 130. 1 hour 20 minutes, 1 hour 30 minutes to cook it in the smoker. Even though the weather was just terrible, good thing I had an offset. I can go out and put a log in every now and then, so easy cook. Anyhow, thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe if you like this content, and I'll see you guys next episode. Happy Easter.